The ASX gained ground on Monday, after progress on a US tax cut plan, with miners putting in a strong performance after gains for commodity prices and ANZ also moving higher. The S&P/ASX 200 index climbed 26 points, or 0.4%, to 60.23. The All Ordinaries rose by the same amount in points and percentage terms to stand at 61.13. Gains in the US on Friday set the stage for an Australian advance, with US shares closing at fresh records after US Republicans agreed on the details of a bill that will cut taxes for businesses and individuals. ANZ shares were up 1.3% after it announced it will hand $1.5 billion to shareholders. Miners gaining ground included BHP, up 1.6%, and Rio Tinto, up 1.5%. South 32 rose 1.6% and Newcrest climbed 1.1%. UBS Australian equity strategists said that they like the mining sector heading into 2018. Valuations still look reasonable and there are significant upgrades to consensus 2018 estimates based on spot commodities, they said. On the downside, Orezone shares were down 6.1% and Downer ED declined 1.5%. Treasury Wine lost 0.9% while Computershare slipped 1.2%. US President Donald Trump's Republicans have settled on the most sweeping overhaul to business and personal taxes since 1986, including slashing the corporate rate to 21%, and are poised to legislate the historic package this week. The tax package, which will lower the federal corporate tax rate to 21%, will put pressure on other advanced countries, including Australia, to follow suit. On Friday, Japan announced plans to slash its company tax rate from 30% to 20%, but only for companies that raise wages aggressively and boost domestic capital spending. In contrast to the US proposal, which would see taxes cut from next month, the Turnbull government's plan to cut company tax to 25% would take 10 years to implement, but it's still opposed by Labour and key crossbenchers. The government declined to comment when approached, but the Business Council of Australia ramped up its appeal to the Senate to rethink its opposition to the remainder of the government's 10-year company tax plan. Despite the tax cuts being unpopular with a majority of Americans for favoring business and the wealthy, Republicans are rushing the bill through Congress to nail President Trump's first significant legislative victory before the end of the year. The House and Senate are due to hold a final vote on the pro-business tax bill by around the middle of this week, in the face of staunch opposition from Democrats who have slammed the permanent tax cuts for business and temporary tax cuts for individuals. ANZ Banking Group will launch a $1.5 billion share buyback after selling its life insurance unit, its wealth business and a 20% stake in Shanghai Rural Commercial Bank. The sale of the bank stake, first announced in January, was completed on Monday. ANZ's strong capital position combined with the progress made in simplifying our business means we are now in a position to commence returning surplus capital to shareholders while still complying with APRA's unquestionably strong capital requirements, Chief Financial Officer Michelle Jablko said in a statement. Sponsored post.